Good Wednesday morning, everybody. We're going to take a look at the Christmas Day period because there's been a lot of speculation over the last 2 weeks on, is a storm going to develop? And I've been looking at this very closely for a few days, trying to figure out what I think is going to happen. And the trends, actually, I think are in our favor, guys. Again, I don't know the exact details, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is just energy in the upper atmosphere, 18,000 feet. Energy produces storms. Quite simply, it all determines where lift is in the atmosphere and a bunch of other dynamics that we won't get into right now. But this is an old model run showing that energy earlier this week. And you can see here, there's this ridge or high pressure area, warmer air that's trying to push up against this energy on the older model runs. That's hanging a lot of stuff back. But on the new runs, you'll notice a much flatter look. See this? So that allows a front-running storm system to get out ahead of everything. And what that does is, so here's the storm system right here. This is the front-running storm system. This gets out ahead, and it drags in all this cold air to establish a front, which you'll see right here. Okay, storms love to develop along fronts. It's just a matter of where's the placement of this front going to be. Like I said earlier in the week, when you had all the energy hanging back and you had more of a ridge on the East Coast, this front was more established inland on many model runs, and we weren't seeing the impressive setup that we're looking for a storm. But now things are changing a little bit. So if we move to the actual projections, what's going on is the models are trying to develop something along this front for Christmas Day. And we've been seeing this back and forth now for over a week. And now the models went away from it, and now they're coming back towards this solution. And I think it's starting to make sense based on a few things I'm looking at. So for one, I like the fact how that front-running storm system is getting out ahead. It's a little bit flatter, so it's a little bit of a colder system, so northern Vermont might actually get some snow. I like I said, the front that's setting down, and probably most importantly, if you look at the orientation of this trough here, it's negative, which allows a much better chance for something to develop along the eastern seaboard. I'm talking about the tilt. If you draw a line right through the center of the trough, where it's leaning back, not leaning forward, which is a very big thing we want to see. Now the key is going to be this piece of energy. How does it round the bend here? And if it's sharp enough and not flat, then we see a storm flare up. So you can see there's that piece of energy. Okay, it's going to round the bend, and in this particular example, it does produce a surface response, but we'd like to see this a little bit more dynamic. So we go from something that looks like this to maybe something a little bit more towards the lines of the European, which is a little bit more consolidated. So what do I think? I think that the eastern seaboard does have to look out for a storm Christmas Eve to Christmas Day. Depending on where that front sets up, it's going to depend on where the precipitation is in terms of rain versus snow. Right now, I like the idea if something flares up to be I-95 north and west, just looking at everything, because again, the real cold air is all the way back here. But we have to track it. But right now, I think we have to start making forecasts, guys. We're only a couple of days away. We can't just wait for every model run to come in. And right now, I think we have to be on alert for something to spin up along the eastern seaboard for Christmas Day. And in its wake, brutally cold air. I mean, I'm going to be up here skiing in northern Vermont, and temperatures will be sub-zero. So that might not be doing much skiing in that scenario. But this lasts through the new year. And that's all for now. A lot more to come on this evolving situation.